Hello good people, my name is Johnny and welcome to Johnny Reads the Bible. So this video is going to be coming out a bit late, mainly because I got busy throughout the day, so I'm sorry for that, but it's still coming out on Monday, so please don't be mad at me in the comments. So in the last Bible study, we were talking about chapter 2 of Daniel, and if you don't know about the chapters, I will put a link to chapter 2 in the description below, and then in that video there is a link to chapter 1 if you guys didn't watch that one, or you can just go to my channel and look up all the chapters. So today we are doing Daniel chapter 3, so let's go. Okay, so you guys should have your Bibles out, and if you guys haven't decided to go to the last video, then I'll just give a quick rundown. So King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon, he woke up in the middle of the night and he's scared to death because he's gotten a vision of things that he can't explain. I would explain it, but it is a lot to go through, so please, I do highly recommend going to the second video. So please, in the description below, there's the second video to the Daniel chapter 2, so please go watch that if you guys haven't already. So basically, he just wakes up in the middle of the night, he has a terrible dream about the statue in the second chapter, and he's telling all his wise men and all his sorcerers and all his magicians and just wise men are like, he's saying, please, if you tell me what this dream means, and if you can't, I'm gonna kill you. And they can't explain it, and then he orders his army to wipe out all the wise men. Daniel prays to God. God gives him a vision of what the dream meant. He goes and tells King Nebuchadnezzar, and he goes, your God is the greatest. And he makes Daniel the highest person in his court, one of the highest people in his court below him. So yeah, that's basically a little rundown of Daniel chapter 2, and now we are on to chapter 3. Nebuchadnezzar's gold statue. King Nebuchadnezzar made a gold statue 90 feet tall and 90 feet wide. He set it up on the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Then he sent messages to the high officers, officials, governors, advisors, treasurers, judges, and all the officials to come to dedicate the statue he had set up. So all these officials came and stood before the statue King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then a herald shouted out, people of all races and nations and languages, listen to the king's command. When you hear the sounds of the horn, flute, lyre, harp, pipes, and other musical instruments, bow to the ground and worship King Nebuchadnezzar's gold statue. Anyone who refuses to obey will immediately be thrown into a blazing furnace. So basically he's saying, as soon as you hear all these instruments, bow down before the 90-foot tall statue of King Nebuchadnezzar. So that's called idolatry, and that is not a good thing that you should do. That is, beyond bad. So at the sound of the musical instruments, all the people, whatever their race or nation or language, bowed to the ground and worshipped the gold statue that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. But some of the astrologers went to the king and informed on the Jews. They said to King Nebuchadnezzar, long live the king. You issued a decree requiring all the people to bow down and worship the gold statue when they hear the sound of the horn, flute, lyre, harp, pipes, and other musical instruments. That decree also states that all those who refuse to obey must be thrown into a blazing furnace. But there are some Jews, Daniel's friends, whom you have put in charge of province of Babylon. They pay no attention to you, your majesty. They refuse to serve your gods, and they do not worship the gold statue you have set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar flew into a rage and ordered that all of them be brought before him. When they were brought in, Nebuchadnezzar said to them, is this true? So-and-so. I can't say their names or else I'm going to mess it up and I'm going to feel really bad. I feel really bad anytime I mispronounce a name. That you refuse to serve my gods or to worship the gold statue that I have set up. I will give you one more chance to bow down and worship the statue I have made when you hear the sounds of the musical instruments. But if you refuse, you will be thrown immediately into the blazing furnace. And then what God will be able to rescue you from my power?" All of them said, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you. If we are thrown into a blazing furnace, the God whom we serve will be able to save us. He will rescue us from your power, your majesty. But even if he doesn't, we want to make it clear to you, your majesty, that we will never serve your gods or worship the gold statue you have set up." So basically they are telling him, hey, we're not doing any of that because that's just bad. We worship God. Thank you very much. We're not going to bow down to some 90-foot statue that you've set up. So they're standing strong in their faith, and even though he can snap his fingers and cause them to just be wiped out, they don't care. They're just going to be there, They're just going to be God is our strength. He is our shield. So that is a very, very cool thing. The blazing furnace. So basically, if you can't see, my thing has what a certain part of the chapter is about, and this says the blazing furnace, so that's why I always say it like that. The blazing furnace. Nebuchadnezzar was so furious with all of the people, or not all of the people, but the three other guys, that his face became distorted with rage. He commanded that the furnace be heated 7 times hotter than usual, so he's making sure that they will die in this furnace. Then he ordered some of the strongest men in his army to bind all the people, the three guys, and throw them into the blazing furnace. So they tied them up and threw them into the furnace, fully dressed, their pants, turbans, robes, and other garments. And because the king was in anger, he demanded such a hot fire in the furnace. The flames killed the soldiers they threw in the 3 men. So basically the flames were so hot that whenever they threw them in, the soldiers died like that. They just died. There's no chance for them. So all the three guys securely tied fell into the roaring flames. But suddenly Nebuchadnezzar jumped up in amazement and exclaimed to his advisors, "Didn't we tie up 3 men and throw them into the furnace?" Yes, your majesty, we certainly did." They replied. "Look," Nebuchadnezzar shouted, "I see 4 men, unbounded, walking around in the fire unharmed, and the fourth looks like a god." Then Nebuchadnezzar came as close as he could to the door of the flaming furnace and shouted the 3 guys' names, "Servants of the Most High God, come out, come here." So the 3 guys stepped out of the fire, and then the high crowd, or the high officers, officials, governors, and advisors crowded them and saw that the fire had not touched them. Not a hair on their heads were singed, and their clothes were not scorched. They did not even smell of smoke. So they got thrown, fully tied up to whatever. They got thrown in there, and they got untied, and they're walking around in this 7 times hotter than usual, which I'm pretty sure the furnace is really hot already, and it's 7 times hotter, so they're walking around in there like nothing's up. And God comes down to them. I believe it's God, and he comes down to them, and he is there. He's there with them, and he's protecting them. So then as soon as Nebuchadnezzar sees this, he's like, "Oh, please come out of here. Please, come to me." And then they walk out, and they're fine. They are completely okay. Okay, then Nebuchadnezzar said, "Praise the God of the 3 guys. He sent an angel." Okay, no, it wasn't God himself, but God did send an angel down to protect them. To rescue his servants who trusted him. They defended the king's command, and they were willing to die rather than serve and worship any god except their own. Therefore I must make this decree. If any people, whatever their race or nation or language, speak a word against the God of those 3 guys, they will be torn limb from limb, and their houses will be turned into heaps of rubble. There is no other God who can rescue like this. Then the king promoted the 3 guys even higher positions in the province of Babylon. And that, my friends, is chapter 3 of Daniel. So that one is a very good read. So a little quick recap. After he gets the vision from Daniel, he decides to build a 90-foot statue of fake gods, or a fake god, and Daniel's 3 friends that don't decide to bow down, and they decide to say, "No, we worship God, not this, whatever this is." He gets really mad, heats up the furnace 7 times hotter. He has soldiers throw him in. The soldiers die because they're so close to the flame, but they're thrown in and they're completely okay. They step out after the angel comes down and protects them. They don't smell of smoke, and he immediately, oh! I made a tiny mistake. Just a tiny one. A tiny mistake. So yeah, that was a really good read. I haven't read Daniel in a while, so that was a really good read to study with you guys. I hope that you guys all enjoyed this as much as I did. So instead of me going like right below the floor, because I noticed in the videos it's kind of dark, so I'm just going to put the phone on the bed and I'm going to pray like that, so then you can actually see my face. So other than that, I do hope that you guys really, really enjoyed listening to Daniel as much as I did. You guys have been showing your greatest support, and couldn't ask for anything else. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Oh, sorry. As always, God be with you, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Father in heaven, please watch over everyone who is watching this video. I hope that you were able to show them your greatness and that you were able to let them hear what I have to say. I hope I was able to change a person's life by showing them your word and that how powerful you are. I hope that you will be with them as they go to sleep or wake up wherever they're watching. I pray that you will just be with them at all times, because they are amazing people who support me, and they, like, while they're watching this video and while they're supporting me, they support you, God. You are greater than anything that this world has to throw at us, and I thank you so much for that. So please watch over these people who are watching the video, and if anybody is hurting in their family, please heal them, because I know that you can. Thank you so much for being great. And I pray to you in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.